during Oberman's program tonight on MSNBC, right towards the end, he had a special comment, and he made some very good points about how nobody has taken responsibility for the public discourse and the fact that it's been shredded and made violent, except two people, and he mentioned himself and John McCain. I think he had a statement immediately after the bloodbath that was caused by right-wing talk radio and television 10 days ago. I think McCain came out a couple of days later. And Oberman listed 8 or 10 people, I don't know why he had me in that list, but who have not repudiated violence. And I'm not sure how to respond to that. Not that anyone cares what my response is, but the only thing I can say is the rhetoric that comes through me is the rhetoric of rage. And have there been violent images? Of course. Rush Limbaugh choking on his throat fat. To me, that is not a threat. I wish I could, but I can't reach into his throat and jiggle up his throat fat so he suffocates. I can't do it. As far as Dick Cheney's a mass killer. I mean, by definition, it doesn't make any difference what you think he is or think he isn't. His policies going back to the 60s are those of a mass killer. I don't pick obscure government officials and try to demonize them because they're working for social justice or trying to, to use a quaint term, help people out. That's not what I do. So I respectfully disagree with Keith Olbermann. I don't feel like I deserve a place on his list at all. The rhetoric that comes from me is rhetoric that is inspired by the rage that generates in me because organizations like Keith Olbermann's employer, not Olbermann, but his employer, NBC, or ABC, or CBS, I mean, they're all guilty, refuse to do anything except try to find false equivalency. And his employer, NBC, would rather, drink a vat of baby vomit than actually publicize the anti-war movement, the peace movement in this country. And when some freak like Breitbart and the rest of these swine produce a video with some white guy doing a caricature of a black pimp from some 70s blaxploitation movie, and the result of that is an attack on Acorn, and Keith Olbermann's employer and boss, NBC, doesn't treat that with the contempt it deserves, then I react, and I scream, and I bitch, and I yell, and I use outrageous language. And I cuss, and I say things that make people say, well, I'm never going to listen to him again. And I usually wind up on these freakish right-wing blog sites. And then usually when that happens, the next day I get the emails from the white Christians that use language that would make Lee Emery blush. So, well, I enjoy Olbermann's program very much, and hope he continues. I think if he's ever listened to my program, which I don't know if he has or not, I would tend to doubt it, but I'm sure he's heard the cuts that are lifted from the program, which is fair enough. I mean, that's I can whine out of context, but it's not. The context of this program can be summarized in some of those 3-minute cuts that these right-wing monsters love to clip out and put on their websites. Yeah, that's me. Absolutely.